So I watched Karate Kid 2 more than, I think it's 30 years later after its release. Uh, the reason being, because they're releasing Cobra Kai on Netflix. So, I watched two episodes and I kind of went back to the original Karate Kid franchise and, I watched Karate Kid, a few days ago, and now I watched Karate Kid 2. I'm really fond of Mr. Miyagi. He's great and played superbly by Pat Morita. And in Karate Kid 2, the scene is in Okinawa, actually, which was actually shot in Oahu. And that setting, I think, deepened Mr. Miyagi's personality, portraying his roots and his relationship with his first love, which he fled from, and his rival, Mr. Sato, and all these relationships give the character much depth and richness, I think. And Pat Morita is playing the role of Mr. Miyagi really well. So we are convinced why Daniel is so attracted to Mr. Miyagi, because he's such a superb character. Having said that, I think there's some miscalculations and ill-conceived ideas about the film as well. First of all, the shooting was took place on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, and I'm sure they did all their best to reproduce what it is like in Okinawa. But I've been to Okinawa 100 times, and I've never, of course, I don't know Okinawa at that time, but I can tell that things are different. So in terms of portraying Okinawan culture and tradition, I think they could have done better. Although I heard that they consulted some people from Okinawa on the island of Hawaii, because it's a well-known fact that many people actually immigrated to Hawaii from Okinawa. So that would have been some checkups and so on. But even with that, probably if the film was remade today, I think there could be more faithful portrayal of the Okinawan culture. And for me, the most serious issue about the film is this revenge thing that Mr. Miyagi's arch rival, Mr. Sato, is holding against Mr. Miyagi. And, that is not really the Okinawa that I like and love and know. I've been to Okinawa probably 100 times. I'm based in Tokyo, but I love the Okinawa island, so I've been there. And people in Okinawa do not hold grudge for such a long time. I mean, they are really forgiving, warm people. Their spirit is characterized by the word yuimaru. Yuimaru is when people help each other. And there were some elements of it in the film, but a person like Mr. Sato, as portrayed in the film, wouldn't typically exist in Okinawa, holding a grudge because his owner was hurt a few decades ago. I don't think that would happen in Okinawa. So that part, probably the film producers wanted to make a villain, but that doesn't really ring true for Okinawan people. And the way the villains demolished the whole thing, like throwing away bonsai trees, and I don't think that would happen in Okinawa either. I mean, it's very ill-conceived mapping from Pulp Fiction in the United States. Maybe this you know, this prevalence of violence without any meaning, or this vandalism. I don't think that is really typical of Okinawa. So that is something that I have issues with the film. But when you think about it, there's this typhoon scene, and where Mr. Miyagi hides himself away together with people, and he you know sets out to rescue his arch rival, Mr. Sato, who is trapped under a fallen house, and so through that their friendship is re-established. And this scene actually reminds me of the fact that Okinawa was very heavily damaged during the Second World War, primarily by the U.S. troops, but also in part by the Japanese troops. And so, this is a really sad fact. And when I saw the typhoon scene, I felt that probably all these portrayal of vandalism and violence and damage caused to the village, probably all these were metaphors for what happened on the island of Okinawa during the Second World War. If the producers of the film thought that deeply, I think probably the point that I had issues with in Karate Kid 2 might make some sense. If these were belatedly portrayed metaphors for the savage damage that were done to peoples of Okinawa during the Second World War. Of course, in the US market, that would be very difficult to portray in a direct way. So the typhoon scene and the scenes of vandalism prior to that could be taken as indirect metaphors. Yeah, so that's possible. All in all, I think Karate Kid 2, I think strengthened the character of Mr. Miyagi further. Mr. Miyagi comes out as a more charming and more deep, rich character after after Karate Kid 2, and we really understand why Daniel is attracted to his master. The female characters, if you look back on, from with benefit of hindsight, maybe today we would have made Karate Kid 2, where some female characters at least would have practiced karate and would be as active as the male characters. That is, today, right? But at that time, maybe the way the film portrayed the main female characters, gentle, elegant, kind, warm, good-willed. I think that makes sense in a way. I mean, after that, these are some aspects of important female characters or human nature. And although, today we might see females as more active and, more engaging and more on equal footing with the men, I think Karate Kid 2 did a pretty good job in portraying female characters. So, all in all, I liked Karate Kid 2, especially Pat Morita playing Mr. Miyagi. It's no wonder he has a great following even today. And although, sadly, Pat Morita is no longer with us, and we cannot make any sequels to Karate Kid franchise. I think Karate Kid 2 is a great gift to anybody who really watched, who really loved watching Karate Kid, and wowed by the philosophy and mastery of the mind and the body. portrayed in The Wonderful Mr. Miyagi.